So glossophobia is the fear of public speaking. It's a leading fear worldwide. People are afraid to speak in front of people. They fear being judged, amongst other things. But most often, the case is that they don't know how to approach it in a way that makes it easier for them, easier for you. Perhaps you are one of those people that are afraid of being judged or afraid of delivering something imperfectly, or you feel that you are not made for it, or you bypass opportunities to impress because you doubt yourself. Now I'm going to give you 7 tips that should act as cheat codes for you to be able to deliver a perfect presentation or close to perfect, because we're always working towards perfection, right? But I'm going to give you tools that will enable you to deliver something to the best of your ability, but with a systematic approach. So the first thing is this: start off with a bang. So essentially, the first 5 seconds of you delivering whatever talk, of you making that particular presentation, the first 5 seconds are what gets people hooked. So if you can start off with a joke, if you can start off telling a story, don't show them how agitated, irritated, nervous, and fearful you are. Start off with something that they can relate to. Start off with a bang. In those 5 seconds, don't start off by saying, "Thank you for giving me this opportunity," because they expect that. Rather, give them something interesting. Here's something that I did once. I learned an intro in a totally different language. So the same intro that I knew word for word verbatim in English, I learned Portuguese just for that phrase. So I didn't go into a deep dive on the language of Portuguese, right? But I learned how to make that intro and translate it into Portuguese as I deliver it. Obviously, that caught the attention of the crowd. And then I explained to them it was simply to get your attention. Essentially, what I was saying is this. Then I put it in English. So at that point in time, the fact that I made an effort to learn a totally different language means that for the rest of the presentation, they are most likely to listen to me. So start off with a bang. I'm not saying go out and learn a totally different language and copy my strategy, but try to think about something that will work for you in that particular moment so that you are able to win in that particular moment. Tip number 2, or cheat code number 2, don't be haphazard. Focus on one big idea. So this cheat code is the rule of 1. Focus on one big, good idea, then elaborate on that, make examples around that, but let it serve as your focal point, right? If you are, for example, the owner of Batu Sneakers, and you are now presenting on the strategic direction of the company, and you are focusing on the segment of design, don't, while speaking about design, talk about market, talk about profits whilst you're speaking about the design element. Rather, zone in on the design element so that that segment of your presentation, the one focal point, is the design. And everything you link the design to, the international markets, the trends and the analysis of trends, the fashion, how the design and the engineering of the sneaker fits into those 3 components of sales, and like the focal point is the design. Then you link it with other things, but make the focal point, right? Then pause like a pro. Did you see that? You still here? I paused. I said, then pause like a pro, right? In those silent moments, those are the moments where you gather your thoughts, but at the same time, the audience become more intrigued. Silence gives an open vacuum that allows for breathing when you are presenting. Silence is a key tool that you should use, right? So time your pauses. Let them be a part of your journey as you tell your story. Let it be a part of your journey as you present. Even the pitch of your voice counts as you're gonna pause or you leading up to that pause, right? Be it in the form of a question where you are triggering the audience to think about what you're saying, or be it because you're about to make an ostentatious type of statement, a verbose type of statement, right? So let it be that your pause is used as a synchronization of the flow of your presentation or the flow of you speaking in public. Relate to them through those pauses where they feel like they are a part of what it is you are saying in that exact moment. Cheat code number 4. Speak to the heart before you even speak to the head. Use emotions. Use emotions as part of your storytelling journey. Not just facts. Facts are boring. Facts are boring. Bring them in. Tuck them into your story, right? Let them relate to the pain that you felt because you didn't sleep for 3 days preparing for the presentation. Let them relate to that. An example of the perfect type of emotional roller coaster that you can take them through is telling them a story about when you were hurt. Something they can relate to, but something that speaks to the nature of the presentation. If it's a professional presentation around legislation, legislative frameworks, and the law and legal experts or legal aspects that relate to now your presentation, even there, use emotion. Tell them the consequence, the pain of them not adapting whatever it is you'll be sharing with them at that particular point in time. It's key to use emotion to feed into the facts so that your story keeps them hooked. Your story keeps them hooked. For example, since we're using now the example of a professional presentation, I remember a doctor that was presenting on their doctoral thesis, but it's an article whereby they use just a single objective to share their results. And they were sharing about the impacts of mine dust on the community nearby. They shared a journey of a girl that stays in that mine dump and started the presentation by telling us about the girl. Then feeding it in by telling us about the girl's family, telling us about the environment in which they stay and the habits that they have. And then they brought in the mine dust and the impact on the mine dust on this little girl and her family. So throughout that journey, we're able to explore and understand the impact of the mine dust on that family and how the habits of that family would actually lead to detrimental impacts on that young girl. Thus making the research a little bit more important. You see, she went into our heartstrings. She made us connect with the character. And then that character's pain, we were able to relate, sympathize, empathize, and flow with it throughout the presentation. So in cheat code number 4, speak to the heart before you want to speak to the mind or the brains. Before you want to be all practical and pragmatic, speak to the heart, right? Cheat code number 5. Let your hands be a part of telling the story. So body language is very important as you speak. Eye contact, a proper posture, a proper structure, not only in terms of how professionally you dressed or how stunning you are, but how you stand, how you use your body to work for you, the fact that you are smiling as you're speaking, the fact that there's eye contact with the audience, The fact that you make each and every audience member feel like you're talking to them, right? Through that eye contact. Your body structure speaks to your confidence as well. And most of us like speaking with our hands. It's such an entrenched habit that we can't really get or do away with, right? But it's better to know and understand that in the process of presenting or speaking in public, because that's when you'll know whether your hands serve as a distraction or they serve as an empathizer, right? Do they help you emphasize things, or do they just distract and derail your message from the audience? When you speak about, let's say you're speaking about pain that is in your head, you see now, instead of it being distracting, it serves as part of my story. If I'm speaking about a headache and I'm holding my head with my hand, then my hands are a part of the presentation, right? They're part of relatability. If your head is sore, chances are your hand is going to go to your head. So let your hands and your body speak to assist you. More often than not, when speaking, I go around the crowd. That helps me connect with each audience member if it's an intimate setting. Going around the crowd means they are able to hear you from what you're saying, but also because you are bringing proximity to them, it makes it easier for them to relate to what you're saying, also to pay attention. Because if you are showing eye contact and proximity, then they can't be distracted on their phones and whatnot, because you're right there with them and you're walking on this journey with them. So use your body to work for you as you work on your presentations. Don't let it serve as a distraction. Use your body to work for you. Then we're going to cheat code number 6 when it comes to public speaking. And it's the most common one. Filler words. Like, yeah, are we together? Filler words that are necessary, usually used because you're so nervous, you're not articulating yourself with confidence. Whereas if you speak the way you speak when you're speaking with a friend, you don't stutter, you don't mumble, you don't put filler words, you just speak. The more you speak, the more you practice, the easier it will become. The more you rehearse, the easier it will become. So filler words are something that you must try to do away with in your vocab and have as little of those filler words as possible, because that will assist you in delivering your message. Filler words take away from what you're saying. They take away from your presentation because they express that level of nerves that you don't want coming out. You don't want people looking at you in that way, right? And then cheat code number 7, which is the last one. Try and record yourself. If you were recorded by a third party, try to get footage of you presenting. This is important and it's very practical because it will allow you the opportunity to look at all your mistakes, watch and see all the fillers that you used, filler words that you used, watch and see your body language. So everything we've discussed, try to follow even your storytelling in the videos. I mean, the same thing applies. Me being a YouTuber right now and you listening on the other side, the same thing applies. I watch all of the videos that I've uploaded as the first time watcher, right? Immediately when it's there and it's projected on YouTube and it's published, I become the first watcher because I want to see whether I'm making sense. I want to see whether there was proper eye contact. The lighting was as good as what I thought when I was editing it. Did I fumble when I was speaking? Did I make sense? Was I coherent? And is it easy to follow the flow of what I'm saying? It's important. So record yourself. It will save you in the long run. record yourself so that you see what are the areas that you need to improve. Then journal all of those areas where you need to improve, then work on those specific areas. Then a bonus cheat code, which works when it's not impromptu public speaking. Impromptu means you're speaking from off the cuff, off the dome, at the top of your head. It's unplanned, it's unscripted, you didn't really prepare. It's something that you just needed to do right there and then. That's impromptu speaking. But when now you know you're going to give this presentation, then prepare. Show that you know exactly what you're talking about. Don't regurgitate it from memory. Show an understanding. Then that's where the stories come in. If it's a personal story, it makes it that much easier. So in your preparation, make sure that you make time to look in the mirror or record yourself with your phone and present to yourself, for yourself, before you present to the external audience or the audience that you're there to train, to work with, to present to, and so on. Show that you know what you're talking about. And preparation is what's going to help you work and perform at your peak. Then, of course, watch more of my videos where I'll give you more tips in the future. We'll speak more about it because glossophobia is one of the leading fears in the world. And I want you to overcome that fear. I love you. I appreciate you. And remember, guys, it starts with you. Cheers.